My life's in your hands, Your Honor.
It's not in my hands. It's in your hands because I don't make the choices and I don't have the conduct you do. You're the one who understands what the law is prohibiting and you continue to do it the only way. And through that injunction, it says.
The judge looked across the courtroom at a man who claimed he simply did not understand the law, and then he dropped a bombshell that changed everything. In the middle of a routine hearing in Wisconsin, a defendant stood before the bench unrepresented, insisting he could not afford a lawyer. He told the court he had no idea how any of this worked, that the allegations against him were false, and that he was only trying to retrieve business documents from the woman who had taken $25,000 from him.
I don't know if you want to tell me your situation because again,
I want to. I want you to understand.
Everything, I can't understand. Everything that you say can be used against this gentleman right over here and he can use it even if it hurts you.
But I need to talk to her because she did all my business work, all my taxes, and I need some documents from her to get. But I need that and she will not give me. That's why I keep.
I would stop right now because
I just don't understand what's happening. I don't. I didn't abuse anybody. I've never abused anybody in my life.
But there is a domestic abuse injunction.
It's false allegation.
But the judge had seen this defendant before, and he had not forgotten what he had witnessed.
Here's the thing. You know people who know about the law. I know that. So go talk to people who know about the law and either apply for a court-appointed attorney.
What the judge revealed next, in a moment that would have made anyone's jaw drop, exposed a stunning contradiction that the defendant never saw coming. You need to understand the full picture of what brought this man to that courtroom and why the judge's revelation was so devastating. It's because it cuts straight to the heart of a question every single one of us has asked at some point. The man's name was Lee Morates, and he was facing 2 criminal cases in the state of Wisconsin.
The record in the matter, 25 CM 113, 25 CM 185, State of Wisconsin versus Lee Morates. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Villa in person. We have Mr. Morates in person without counsel. We're set today in these matters for an initial appearance in the 185 case and a status in the other. Mr. Morates, did you receive a copy of that new complaint? And that's what it looks like in your hand?
Yes.
Did you read it?
I didn't read the whole thing.
But do you understand that charge and that maximum penalty?
I really don't.
Okay, well, it's easy. I'll just go over it with you and you'll totally understand. It's alleging that on or around June 13th, 2025, you knowingly, you did so understandingly, that you violated an injunction, which is a restraining order as people know it in lay terms. An injunction where you're not supposed to have any contact at all in any way, shape, or form at all with an individual in 24 CM 120. So they're alleging on June 13th, 2025, you violated that, you broke the law, you had contact. Don't say a word. You could, upon conviction, you could be fined not more than $10,000 and have incarceration of not more than 9 months in jail. So that's that maximum penalty associated with the charge and what the state would have to prove. Okay, and it's alleging that you did have contact, you knew you had contact, and you knew you weren't supposed to have contact with that domestic abuse injunction, okay?
The first involved a violation of a domestic abuse injunction, a restraining order that prohibited any contact with a specific individual. The second was a new complaint filed on June 13, 2025, alleging that Morates had knowingly and understandingly violated that very same injunction. He stood accused of having contact when the law demanded absolute zero, no text messages, no phone calls, no third-party communication unless it was channeled through an attorney. The maximum penalty for this single charge was 9 months in jail and a fine of up to $10,000. But that was not the full extent of his legal jeopardy. The Assistant District Attorney, Jose Villa, told the court that more referrals were coming down the pipeline.
I spoke to Jose and he didn't help me at all. I had a lot.
Not supposed to. He's state. He's on the opposite side.
Oh, see, I don't know how this works.
Okay.
I have no idea how this works.
He's the attorney that prosecutes you, that he's wanting to protect the public interest and the allegations in both of these complaints because they're very similar. So he's not the guy who can help you.
Oh,
if you're looking,
I don't understand how any of this.
More allegations of the exact same conduct.
Okay, so at this time you're representing yourself, and that's fine, and you can do that. Not guilty plea is going to be entered on your behalf on this charge as well as the last charge, but Mr. Villa, you're not his attorney. You don't represent him. He tried to talk to you about the case, but so with regards to this matter and your boots that you fill, what is an offer that can be presented?
Your Honor, at this time, I cannot present an offer. We have further cases that are coming down the pipeline, so I'm going to do a global.
Okay, so there's more referrals of the same-ish thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can understand, Mr. Moritz, that
more charges, more cases. Morates was sinking deeper into a legal abyss, and he was doing it alone without counsel because he claimed he had no money. He told the judge he had spoken to one attorney who wanted a $1,500 retainer just to send a letter, and he could not afford it.
Any of this works.
Okay, so
I don't have enough money to buy an attorney right now, so.
So did you talk to, there was a gentleman, and I'm going to try and find somebody outside who can stop. Hey, why don't you please, one of you run out, Mr. Flisky's right outside, and then we can get Mr. Flisky so he can talk with Mr. Moritz to see if he qualifies. Thank you, Ms. Bauer. You talked to him already?
I talked to a woman the last time I was here.
Okay.
I don't
Apparently we
qualify.
need him.
I don't
Apparently he
qualify
doesn't
at all.
qualify. So, but thank you, Ms. Bauer. Okay, so you don't qualify.
Well, she
Okay.
told me I could only make like $200 a month, and I
No, it's not that. It's not $200 a month. It's like you probably own property. If you own property.
yeah, I do.
Then that's what
I own
cut you
quite
out.
a bit of property.
So what you would probably like to do is retain your own attorney or apply for a court-appointed attorney, but that's still at your cost and you'll still need to have money down. But if that's the route you wish to go, then you need to go outside and get that application when we're done here today. Fill it out today. It can't be any later today because I'm not going to wait until the next hearing to have you go, oh, I didn't do it. So you have to go fill that out today if you want a court-appointed attorney at your cost. It's $100 an hour, but that's far less than the other attorneys. You can pay $300 or $400 an hour for a private attorney. You can go that route too. That's totally up to you. But otherwise, it's a reduced rate at $100 an hour. Having these cases, you would need to pay $350 down.
He said he was self-employed, a man who mowed grass and plowed snow, whose income depended entirely on the weather.
The documents.
Don't need those documents. I just need you to tell me, I make this much, and this is under perjury. So I make this much a month.
I don't make a steady income. I've been self-employed since 1997.
I understand you used to cut our grass here. I
Yes,
understand that.
I did, and I lost my job because of this whole situation of false allegations.
If it rained, he worked. If it snowed, he worked. But if it was dry, he made nothing. He could not even pay his mortgage. He stood before the bench, a 49-year-old man with no criminal record, insisting he was at the mercy of the court. The judge listened, and then he began to lay out the facts with a calm but unyielding authority. He explained that a domestic abuse injunction meant absolutely zero contact, no talking, no texting, no swearing, no pushing, no third-party contact unless it was through an attorney.
That you need to not have any contact, not only because it's criminally hurtful, but because you have a domestic abuse injunction, zero contact with BR, zero contact, no texting, no talking, no swearing, no pushing, no third party contact unless it's through an attorney.
He told Morates that the law was the law and that the only way to get his business documents was to hire a lawyer to make that request on his behalf. Morates kept repeating his plea, my life is in your hands.
I am telling you right now, I'm not going to go look at the case. I'm not going to look at the facts. I'm not going to do those things.
Well, someone needs to.
There is in effect a domestic abuse injunction that says absolutely zero contact, none whatsoever. No text messages, no calls, no thinking hypothetically or not hypothetically, thinking towards her, no talking to people, not trying to do anything that has any contact with BR at all, not at all. And if you need contact, you want to know, it says in the injunction, I can tell you right this because it says in the injunction, you can have zero third party contact unless it's through an attorney. So that's your option.
I don't have any money, so I don't, my life's in your hands, Your Honor.
It's not in my hands, it's in your hands because I don't make the choices and I don't have the conduct you do. You're the one who understands what the law is prohibiting and you continue to do it the only way. And through that injunction, it says attorney. So what you're going to need to do is, I'm strongly advising you, at least you can go hire an attorney for this one sole little thing.
I don't have any money, Your Honor. I don't. She took $25,000 from me and split.
I don't
And
know
then
what
the
else.
judge said something that should have been a turning point. It is not in my hands. It is in your hands because I do not make the choices and I do not have the conduct you do. You are the one who understands what the law is prohibiting, and you continue to do it anyway. But Morates would not let it go. He insisted he did not understand. And that is when the judge revealed the bombshell.
Here's the thing. Again, the only reason why I know this, reason why I know this is because you brought your sister with you at the last hearing, that your sister's a law enforcement officer. You know somebody to talk to who knows the law. She knows the law. She knows the law. She's an officer of over 20 some years, maybe 30. She's an officer.
30 years.
So talk to your sister. And again, I only know that from the last hearing you were here. So you can't be trying to wishy-washy, tell me you don't understand the law, you don't know the law.
I don't.
You know an expert, a law enforcement officer. She can tell you all the things.
She does.
Here is the moment that reframes everything. The judge looked at Morates and said, "You brought your sister with you at the last hearing. Your sister is a law enforcement officer. She is a police officer of over 20, maybe 30 years. You know, somebody to talk to who knows the law." The courtroom went silent. Morates had been sitting there, acting like a man lost in a foreign country, a man who had no idea what the rules were. But his own sister had spent decades enforcing those rules. The judge was not guessing, he had seen her. He remembered. He exposed the contradiction in a single sentence. You can't be trying to wishy-washy tell me you don't understand the law. You know an expert, a law enforcement officer. The open loop that began when Morates first claimed ignorance snapped shut right there. He did understand, or at least he had immediate access to someone who did. This was not a man who was truly helpless. This was a man who was choosing to ignore the law, and he was using his poverty as a shield to deflect accountability. Morates responded by saying his sister was not a lawyer. It was a weak deflection, and the judge was having none of it. He said that even though she was not a lawyer, she was a police officer who knew the law, and she could have told him the answer to his question. Morates then shifted his argument again. He claimed the allegations were false, that he had never abused anyone in his life. He called it a false allegation, a false injunction. And at that moment, the conflict escalated. The judge did not entertain the argument. He did not review the facts. He did not look into the case. He simply stated that the injunction was in effect because she came to the court first. That is the brutal reality of the legal system. Right or wrong, fair or unfair, the injunction stands until a judge says otherwise. Morates was not arguing about the law. He was arguing about his own personal sense of justice. And the two are rarely the same thing. He told the judge he had lost his job because of this situation. He lost his contract cutting the grass at the courthouse itself. He had fallen from a position of trust to a defendant facing jail time. The judge had one final piece of advice. He told Morates to hire an attorney, even for just one small thing, to send a letter to get his documents. The judge was not being cruel. He was being practical. He was trying to show Morates the path forward. But Morates could not or would not take it. He kept repeating that he had no money. And that is when the legal system showed its teeth. The judge set a $500 signature bond.
Not counting the state. Mr. Vila.
Your Honor, it does appear that we also need to set bond for these cases.
All right. The court is going to do $500 signature bond. Okay, $500 signature bond. Absolutely no contact with BR or residents.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does a signature bond mean?
A signature bond means you're going to sign the bond. You're going to understand the conditions. You come to court, you follow the law, you don't break any of the conditions. And then if you do great and you don't violate any of those things, then you're fine. You're just signing by your signature. You're saying, I'm agreeing to abide by this. If you violate, not only can the court convert that to cash, well, they have to pay $500 bail, but the state has the ability to charge you for what's called bail jumping. Okay, you're
So-
charged with misdemeanor. So if you violate
I
any
sign this
conditions,
bond, and if I don't communicate at all, I don't have to pay money. I don't.
Morates had to ask what that even meant. He did not know what a signature bond was. The judge explained it clearly. You sign it, you agree to abide by the conditions, you come to court, you follow the law. If you violate it, not only can the court convert that to cash, but the state can charge you with bail jumping. Morates did not ask for mercy. He asked for a miracle. He asked why the woman who got the injunction against him could contact him while he was prohibited from responding.
so if she contacts you, You do not even respond. I can't talk to you because that's violating. Sounds like it's, you know, kind of lopsided. Why can she contact you and you can't contact her?
That's what I don't understand.
It's the law.
The judge's answer was devastatingly simple. It is the law. Now here is where you have to ask yourself a question. Is it right that a person who has been the victim of false allegations, who has no money for a lawyer, and who just needs important business documents, cannot even send a text to get them? That is the kind of question that makes people's blood boil. The system feels lopsided because it is lopsided by design. The plaintiff gets the protection, the defendant gets the restrictions. And if you cannot afford an attorney to navigate that labyrinth, you are trapped. Morates was not a criminal mastermind. He was a landscaper who needed his tax paperwork. But the law does not care about your reasons. The law cares about your conduct. And his conduct was a violation, plain and simple. He admitted on the record that he had texted a couple of times. He admitted he had tried to talk to her. He basically confessed without realizing he was confessing. Every single thing he said in that courtroom could and would be used against him. The climax of this entire hearing was not a dramatic sentencing or a shocking verdict. It was the slow, painful realization that Morates had no exit strategy. The state prosecutor said he could not make an offer because more charges were coming. The judge set a date for December 10th, more initial appearances, more referrals. Morates was going to be back in that courtroom again and again, each time without a lawyer, each time facing the same impossible choice. The judge ended the hearing by telling him to stop arguing.
Again, I just want to go home.
Correct. No, you don't want to just go home. You want to continue to argue and to argue and to argue and to argue and to argue. So stop, because I'm not going to do this again. You're getting your one time right now to have your voice be heard, and that's it.
Thank you for letting me be heard.
And I understand you have these issues, but I can't tell you what to do. Only an attorney can tell you what to do and how to go about it. I've given you your options, okay?
Right, thank you.
So come and get your note.
You're getting your one time right now to have your voice be heard, and that's it. Morates thanked him and walked out, still probably not fully understanding why he was in so much trouble. But the judge did not leave him entirely without a clue. He told him the fix was hiring an attorney. He told him to figure it out. But what do you do when you have no money, and the only way to get your life back is to pay someone you cannot afford? This is where the moral of the story begins to take shape. Lee Morates was not a perfect victim. He had clearly violated a lawful order. He knew it. Or at least he knew someone who could have told him. But he was also trapped in a system that can be merciless to the poor. The judge could not be merciful.
I don't know what to do.
I would stop having contact with BR.
But I need some paperwork from her.
And I told you how to do it. I told you how to do it.
I can't afford an attorney, Your Honor. I'm at your mercy.
There's no mercy here. I cannot be merciful. I have nothing that I can do right here at this time. An injunction says 0 contact, any way, shape, or form.
He said so himself. There is no mercy here. I can be merciful. I have nothing that I can do right here at this time. The law is a set of rules, not a set of exceptions. And when you break those rules, even for a seemingly understandable reason, you face the consequences. But the lesson here is not simply that Morates should have listened. The lesson is that the system works the same way for everyone, but it does not treat everyone the same. The wealthy hire lawyers to navigate the rules. The poor walk into court alone and hope for grace that the law cannot give. Morates had a sister who was a police officer. She knew the rules. But knowing the rules does not make you immune to them. So here is the call to action that matters. If you have ever sat in a meeting at work and watched someone else get away with breaking the same rules you are punished for, you understand this case. If you have ever been told that you were wrong even when you knew you were right, you understand this case. If you have ever felt powerless against a system that seems designed to make you feel small, you understand this case. Morates stood his ground, but he did not have the tools to win. And that is the part that should frustrate you, because the justice system should not be a privilege. It should be a right. But right now, for too many people, it is a luxury they cannot afford. The judge was not the villain. The prosecutor was not the villain. The villain is the gap between the law and the ability to access it. And that gap cost Lee Morates his job, his peace of mind, and potentially his freedom. Think about this the next time you see a case like this. Think about the people who cannot afford the $1,500 retainer. Think about the people who have no idea what a signature bond is. Think about the people who walk into a courtroom and say, I don't understand how this works, and mean it. And then ask yourself, what would you do in that situation? What would you do if you needed paperwork that someone refused to give you, and the only way to get it was to hire a lawyer you could not pay? That question is not about Lee Morates anymore. It is about all of us. Let me know in the comments what you think he should have done differently. Have you ever been in a situation where the law felt completely one-sided? Subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone who needs to understand how the system really works.